So, welcome to another podcast recording of Results Rules OK. My name is Dave Holland, and joining me this afternoon, and it's November already. I'm not sure where the rest of the year went, but it's November. And joining me today are the two ladies running IMA Institute of Management Assistants in Luxembourg. First of all, it's Jane Barton, who's the governance officer for IMA Luxembourg. Jane, hello to you. Good evening.
Hello, David.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And now I've been practicing Annick's family name, I promise. So it's Annick Drouard, who is the finance officer of IMA Luxembourg. Annick, how did I get the name? Was it sort of close or there or thereabouts?
Hi- Good evening, everybody. Yes, it's quite that. It's Annick Druard with the French accent.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I did my best. Anyway, so
Yes, thank you.
good to see you both. Now I know I've worked alongside you both in Luxembourg and the IMA for a number of years, so I know a little bit about it. But I think if we could sort of bring it all to life in a bit of a sort of a conversation for those people that are in Luxembourg, and we were talking earlier that you don't have to be a management assistant to be really interested in the IMA. It could be anybody in administration support or operations or anything like that. This could be really helpful. So hopefully the conversation we're going to have this evening can be to bring IMA to life. And then if anybody listening and watching this podcast is interested in finding out more, we'll put some contact details towards the end of the conversation, and you can reach out and contact Jane or Anik direct, find out more. And I think that they'd love to have you on board, joining up as part of the team. So I guess first question, and again something that for me as well as anybody else listening in, but maybe for Jane, for you, what is the role of a management assistant or anybody that would be associated with IMA? But what does a management assistant do or an operations admin person do? What's the role like?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of an anomaly because assistant makes it sound like you're only assisting people, but actually,
Mm,
in the role you often have a lot of responsibility, a lot of variability in the job.
yeah,
You get insights into the way the company's running because you're working with all different tiers in the company. So
yeah,
this it can be if you're interested in taking on a challenging role, it really can be incredibly interesting. You have to anticipate issues. For a lot of assistants, I think part of the job is helping their bosses to have enough time to do their jobs.
right. That's okay. Okay. And is it more of a these the assistants or the people that we're referring to here? Do they work as part of a big team, or they tend to be more sort of independent or solitary, or working alone, but helping their bosses and as they proceed, or are they part of a team?
Obviously, it depends on the size of the company because in a
Yeah.
lot of companies, there's probably one assistant, like in my company. Some companies perhaps have two, so it can sometimes be a bit lonely. In
Mm,
other big companies, like in RTL here in Luxembourg, they have a whole network of assistants. They're one of our
right.
members. And they have then an internal network as well as being part of our network, which is great because then you can share tips and tricks, which is what we otherwise do amongst each other. And it means that you've always got somebody you can talk to on a confidential basis. Whereas at work, if you have issues you want to talk about, it's difficult to know who to talk to because you
Absolutely.
have to respect confidentiality, of course.
And so, the frustrations or the challenges that people find typically in these jobs. I mean, I guess people listening to this will resonate with this. But what sort of challenges, frustrations do they come across on a regular basis in their roles?
I think quite often just keeping up with the speed of the work. Because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
particularly if you're supporting several people in a team,
Yeah.
you've got to set your priorities. You've really got to make sure that you're there for everybody, that you don't have favorites. I always say to people, bring me
Of course.
chocolate, bring me flowers, I'll do your work first. But of course, it's a joke. Um, and you have to have a very open attitude, a get something done attitude. I
Yes. Okay.
don't know any successful assistants who are sort of moaners. Oh, I can't do that. No, you're a solution provider, basically.
Yes. Okay. And again, I think I saw that resonates with me because I've, having been to some of the IMA events and conferences and workshops over the years, they're a very capable bunch of people, and they just are, and they're there for a reason because they make things happen, and they've got to fill in all maybe the gaps of the organization as well to a certain extent. And as you know, Lynn, my wife, my boss, operates to a degree as my assistant. I would never sort of tell her that, and I'd take your point about the title of assistant,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Lynn does all the hard work that enables me to go and
Yeah,
talk,
exactly, you
do my
see.
thing, all over the place. So I sort of understand that. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is it's a varied role, highly responsible role as well, by the sound of it. And how did you get involved with this, with the with the IMA? Just what is IMA, and how did you get involved with it?
Anik, how did you get involved?
Oh, have been working quite 25 years as senior business travel counselor, and when
Okay,
my company closed, I was really missing being part of something. And
right.
one day I was at an event alone waiting for my ex-colleague, and a lady come to me and say, "Oh, you are alone. Don't you want to join us?" And there was a lot of ladies there, and I joined them. And it happens, it was IMA members from Luxembourg. I find that so nice, and they were so lovely that next week I go to another event invited by IMA Luxembourg,
Mhm.
and finally I applied to be a member of IMA Luxembourg. A few 2, 3 months after, I was asked to be the deputy treasurer, and I do
Okay,
that. And at the AGM in 2018, I become the officially what we today call the finance officer. And since
right.
then, I fell in love with IMA, and I'm still there.
So it's sort of the community and
Yeah.
Yes,
the network,
yes,
and but also the
it's
events
great.
as well. The sort of social
Yes.
side to it sound quite important. Okay,
Yes, it
fine.
was important for me, yes, to visit hotels, to meet people, because I was used when I was travel agent to go to events evening, and then
Mhm.
suddenly I was working as secretary, receptionist also, and I had no more. Yes, I had daily contact, but nothing in the evening, no social evening
Yeah,
life in Luxembourg, and that was great because with IMA Luxembourg, I could again participate to event and meet again old friends like travel agency and
hmm,
also company airlines because I was used to meet the representative of those company airlines and I was really happy to find them back again. So
yes.
it was really great.
So it's networking within, with colleagues, if you like, in maybe different organizations, but also,
Mhm.
sharing ideas around, suppliers and providers and best practice and
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand. Okay.
Yes, and
So
And
visiting hotels also, which is
yeah,
nice because yes, it's
and
better.
you have the IMA badge as well. Just tell us what's that for? Is that a badge of honor or?
This year we have a badge with the gold where you cannot see the camera, but it's a gold badge because IMA is now celebrating 50 years of existence. IMA is an international company who has been founded in 1974 by a French lady named Sonia Vanular. She
Right.
was in France having being an assistant and finding that people were assistant were lonely people and she
Yeah.
decided to create something to network those and as Jane said to help and to share tips and tricks and just to show you that you are not alone uh, so she created that and with the years it became European named
Yeah.
IMA and then at the end it became really international and it's called now IMA International and it's really international because we have our farthest members are in South Africa. So
Really? So how many,
yes,
just roughly, how many countries is IMA sort of represented in roughly around the world now then?
I think more than 20 more than
Really?
I think
20
it's
country.
26. Yeah.
26, I think, yes. And
Yeah.
we have also individual members because you are not, if your country doesn't have an IMA national group, you can
Yeah.
also apply and being an IMA international individual member. And that's great because twice a year we meet together. And then you go outside every years. It's every event is in another country.
Okay.
So you have a spring event, which is usually a training day, and then you have in autumn you have a conference day, and each time it's in another country, another city. So you learn you visit that allow
Yeah.
you to visit, which is great, and you also see people. And if you go on a regular basis, every year you find out the same people, and it's really like what we call in Luxembourg a convenia. So you retrieve all those people. You are so happy to see them, and then you catch up for what happened during the year or during the 6 months, and it's really great. And that's
Um,
also, for me, it's the greatest part of being I'm a part of IMA. It's the
but-
international view, not only the being member, which is great, of course,
sure.
uh, and also I think that being member of IMA Luxembourg or another IMA,
Mm.
it's bringing the real in you, because
Mm.
we are so virtual. Everything is via
Yeah.
Zoom,
Yes.
Teams.
Yeah.
Of course, we offer you a webinar, and of course, if you, as in Luxembourg, you're international, so you probably speak another language. You
Yeah.
can join any IMA, if you are a member, any IMA event that is held in Germany, in France, in the Netherlands, in
Right.
South Africa. So you can really participate, and you have webinars. But what is the greatest is when you meet the people that you have seen via video, and then
Mm.
you say, "Oh, wow!" It's what happened when I went now in October in Stockholm,
Mm.
Sweden, and I was happy to see ladies from South Africa, and we had really great moments to share, and it's really great. It's
Fabulous. So 26 countries, that's an incredible
Yes, that's a must.
journey.
Yeah.
And sorry, because I know you were on conference about a month ago, is that right? Up in
Yes,
yeah, okay, fabulous. Okay.
And
Okay.
Annick went to South Africa last year to the
yeah,
Wow.
conference as well, you see. And
yes,
there every as Annick said, every year there are two different events, each
Yeah.
organized by the local national group. So
Yes.
that's also a challenge. We held it in Luxembourg, was it 2 years ago now?
2022. Yes, 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
2 years
Yes,
ago.
gosh. Yeah.
So, and we were really proud to be able to show Luxembourg to other members
Absolutely.
from different countries. And this
Yeah.
is so cool because there are social activities as well as the training and everything else. And
Yeah.
it builds bonds. I think that's
Yes,
what
Yes,
Alex was
absolutely.
really
Yes.
saying, that you build up a real network. So if, for example, someone's boss was traveling to South Africa, you could get in touch with the branch and say, what sort of
Right.
things do I need to warn my boss about? What sort of plug does he need so he can
Yes,
charge
okay.
his computer?
Right, so that's sort of there's not there's the network, but also collaboration as well. If you need, you can
Yes,
reach out and have
yes,
these sort of
absolutely, yes.
conversations. Right, I
yes,
understand. Makes
yes.
makes sense. Makes sense. And so, and Anik, thank you for that. And Jane, how about yourself? How did you first discover or be discovered by IMA?
Somebody told me, actually, a colleague at work, bizarrely
Right.
enough, had heard about it from a friend of hers, and
Okay.
she said to me, "Why don't you go?" So I thought, okay, I will.
There
And
you
I've been in the association ever
go.
since. But
And clearly, you enjoyed. I can sense by the energy, but there's definite enjoyment in it. The
oh yeah,
collaboration, the social side of it as well, which is it sounds sort of quite unique, if you like, as well.
yeah,
So, I mean, for IMA Luxembourg, there's IMA Luxembourg specifically. What does it do? I mean, let's say I become a member. I love what you say. I hear about the organization. I want to join. Now, I can join as an individual, but also an organization can join. Is that right as well? So you can buy the sort of corporate membership or an
yeah.
individual membership. And what happens? Not what do I get, but what happens to me as a member when I first sort of join up as IMA Luxembourg?
Well, we obviously we get in touch with you,
Yeah,
then
sure.
we're trying to improve our welcome process so that we can then organize to meet up straight away in
Okay.
person to get to know the people.
Yeah.
And then we obviously try and make sure that they come to the next event. So it could be a
Yes.
social event, like earlier in the year we organized a cocktail testing
Hmm.
activity. As Annick said, we often visit companies or visit hotels.
Yeah.
And then you have access to the monthly international webinars, which are
Okay.
produced by a whole bunch of different experts. So at
Hmm.
the moment, we concentrate more on sort of social events,
Hmm.
visiting exhibitions. We always go to the Christmas market together. We
Yes.
go to the Schuberfurt together because we think most people get a lot of training at work anyway.
Sure.
So we think that to enhance the value of the network and getting in touch with people, as Annick says, not just behind a screen, but
Mhm.
actually in person, sitting down and
Yeah.
having a nice evening together.
Yes.
So it really starts. You don't have to wait for 6 months. It starts pretty quickly in terms of being involved with the
Yeah. Oh,
network and the
yeah.
webinars and maybe
Cool.
social and building that community starts on sort of day one, effectively.
Yeah,
Then.
that's
Okay.
right. And you mentioned a corporate membership. So we have
Yeah.
this for larger companies, like I said, RTL is one of our members, so that
Okay.
they can send, say, for example, 6 assistants to an event as part of their membership fee. And
Right.
then we often have, or we usually have, a contact person in that company who then shares all the information with the other people. And so
Okay.
we've done this with I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but a large consulting company, then several banks, a
We can
whole
speak
variety
freely. You're
of
quite
different
safe.
companies.
You're okay. But yes, I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. So really, and so the people in Luxembourg can network with other people in Luxembourg or members in Luxembourg, but also externally, as you say, South Africa, maybe, Scandinavia,
Yes.
wherever as well. Okay, that's really interesting, isn't it? Okay, and,
Yes.
and how many members, worldwide, just roughly, how many within IMA in the 26 countries, just roughly
Uh,
how many people are there? Would you know the number to that?
1,299.
Could you be a bit more precise than that, Annick, or is
No, no. We
okay?
count it.
That's
So
fine.
when I see personal and individual members, so
Yes.
not company, of course, we have then also business company, but the
Yeah.
individual members, we have 1,299. Yes.
1,299. Okay, fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you for that. But this is a big internet, a big network. It's not just like
Yes,
half a
it's a
dozen
big
people
one.
chatting. There's a huge network of
Mhm.
different experiences, different regions, and to have
Yes.
it in sort of collective as well. So,
And
That's right.
being part of being a members allow you to go to the members list,
yeah,
and then you can find people. It depends if you have names, you can find them by names, but you can find just have a look and say, oh, someone from this country. Oh, I
right.
just, as you say, I have a boss going there. I need
Yeah.
some help. I cannot find any hotels. Maybe they can give me a tip.
Mhm.
Or if you don't know how to go from the airport to the town, what's the best way? And yes, you can use the network. It's really important.
Use it straight away. Okay, so
And
if I'm someone in Luxembourg, well, I am someone in Luxembourg, but I'm in Luxembourg. I've heard of IMA. I've listened to this conversation. I mean, I'm interested to a certain extent about joining. I'd like to be part of it. It sounds really, really good. What are the sort of key benefits? Give me close me if you like, and so, but what are the real key benefits you find that members say they derive from being a member of? What are the sort of top three things that you would say would be the real best benefits for people, or for organizations as well, I guess. But what's the real top three, top five benefits?
I'd say one of them is the mentoring aspect, because
Interesting. Okay.
when you have younger members joining, they can by interacting with members who've been assistants, office support professionals
Yeah.
for a longer period of time, they can give them a lot of advice. Some people find it difficulty asserting themselves at work.
Yeah.
And so we found that the mentoring aspect can be very helpful.
Okay.
Um, I think also the mere fact that you have this reassurance that there are all different aspects of the job. Just
Hmm.
because you're doing one aspect of it doesn't mean that your job is any less interesting than some other variety of assistants. You
Sure.
have HR assistants, you have marketing assistants, you have personal assistants, I mean, now they're the very senior chief of staff, but most
Yes.
of them have gone through the whole hierarchy of large companies as
Right.
assistants. And a lot of assistants have a real insight into the way companies work. So
Hmm.
they're able to also advise other assistants on sort of career opportunities.
Okay.
We get a lot of job offers sent to IMA Luxembourg. Companies approach us and ask us if we know anybody who might be interested in the job. And
Okay.
we also work with a recruitment company here in Luxembourg.
Hmm.
So they, we hold an event with them usually once a year where they talk to us about the changing role of assistants
Hmm.
in Luxembourg mainly.
Yes.
But,
Okay.
so what the expectations of companies are, what sort of things you need to have on your CV, if there are perhaps gaps in your training, what you should look to be doing so that
Hmm.
you are attractive for the job market, this sort of thing.
Okay. So really, from what you're describing to me, from what I'm hearing it is it's sort of professional development in terms of support and guidance.
Yeah.
There's a personal development in terms of the social aspect and the personal
Mhm.
networking. There's also career
Oh,
development as
yes.
well in terms of growth
Yes.
opportunities there that may come through from being part of the group. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've
Um,
we've had members who've been applying for jobs who've asked us to produce a certificate for them to say that they've been a member of IMA for several years because
really
their employer is very happy to know that they're part of a professional network like ours. It's
interesting.
really
Okay, so
been
there's
an
some
advantage
validation there
for
as
them.
well.
Yeah.
Really interesting, really interesting. So, okay, well, you've sold me. So, okay, I want to become a member. This sounds really good. But Jenny, so and for me as well, but for anybody listening in and maybe thinking, okay, this sounds of interest. I'd like to either find out more or look at the membership or get some more details. How should anybody listening to this or watching this podcast get in touch? What's the best way of reaching out to you for some more details, more information?
Well, probably the most direct way would be contacting either Anik or me via LinkedIn.
Okay,
We
okay,
can give you the website. We're setting up a new LinkedIn page, which is called
yes,
IMA Luxembourg International Management Assistance,
okay,
where we're going to start inviting people to follow us starting this week because we've first been
yes,
adding content. And then
yeah.
we've got a great website, actually, an international website with individual pages for each country. And that is imaglobal.wildapricot.org. And then you add the name of each country. But I
Right.
think we can perhaps share the links at the end of the podcast. It's a bit difficult to write all that
I'll
down.
put some link. I think the wild apricot one. I can't write that
Yeah.
quickly, but anyway. But I'll put some links in the post below as
Yeah.
we circulate this around on social media as well,
Yeah.
so people can find you
And
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 track you.
obviously, if somebody's interested, then we would just invite them to come and attend a few meetings. They don't have to
Yeah.
become a member straight away just to see, because I mean, they might think we bite and we don't. We're very nice, we're very friendly.
I can vouch for that. I can vouch for
Thank you,
that. What a
David.
genuinely lovely bunch of people, and having been aligned and associated with you for some time now. Is there anything that I've missed? I'm just wondering, anybody's listening to the call, is there anything that you'd like to let people know about the association or anything like that? That we've covered quite a bit of ground, but anything that I've missed, do you think would be helpful to anybody?
No, the best way is to come and see us. That's the best way.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
Yeah.
go and see. We have a really nice website. On the website, you have all country. Just have a look of all what happened within all country. For
Yeah.
Luxembourg, you have also some picture of the event that we have done. And just come,
Just
and
And
you
come
will
and
be welcome.
participate.
I think
Yes.
Anik will agree when she says that assistants know how to have fun as well when they go out, right?
Yes, of
Singing or
course.
dancing to ABBA in Stockholm, celebrating 50 years of the association,
Yes,
dancing their
we're
feet off. So,
dancing like a dancing queen and
yeah,
singing also. I was singing with my fellow from South Africa and Germany. It was really nice. So,
That's
no,
fabulous. We need we
we
need
had
we need
really good
videos and
time.
photographs of that as well. But that sounds fabulous.
I have a video done
Okay, well,
where I'm singing, but then I have to apologize because I'm not
watch
a singer. So,
just watch this space perhaps. But anyway, okay. So, well, look, fabulous. Jane and Nick, thank you. I think it's been really, I've learned, been really interesting. For anybody listening or watching and that you're intrigued or to find out a little bit more about IMA as a global network or just in Luxembourg, in the box below, drop us a note, get in touch with Jane or Anik direct, or go to the website. All the links are below, and I'm sure they'd love to hear from you and help spread the word. So, Anik, Jane,
absolutely.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you for
for
your
having us,
time.
David.
It's
Thank you,
been a real
Have
David.
a
pleasure.
nice evening. Goodbye,
Thank you, and you,
everybody.
and anybody else watching, watch out for the next one. My name is Dave Holland. Watch out for the next podcast in the series. We only talk with and speak with interesting people, as you can see. So watch out for the next one. Jane, Annick, thank you for now. We'll end it
Thank
for
you.
there. Have a
Bye.
lovely evening. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.